The New York Stock Exchange just announced something absolutely massive. Now, this will affect everything in this market. It affects crypto as a whole, but also it reinforces assets like XRP and networks like the XRP ledger in a big way. And we have to talk about it. So sit back, relax, and let's start off by going back in time a bit to the NASDAQ. And you might be saying, well, Nick, I thought this was about the New York Stock Exchange. And yes, it is. However, I want you guys to understand the scale of what's really happening here. Back in early 2025, back in March of 2025, we know that the NASDAQ announced that they were moving towards 24/5 trading. Legacy markets are slowly realizing what crypto figured out years ago. Markets do not sleep, and neither should opportunity. Now, just 2 more days to go. Now, the main thing that we are looking at here is, eventually they are going to be getting into the 24/7 aspect of trading. But initially, yes, 24/5 is going to be the starter for all of these markets. But we knew that this was a big update. And in fact, we recently got another update regarding this. But before we really get into everything, I just want to let you guys know about the free Discord. If you guys are not in the free Discord yet, what are you guys doing? You're missing out on a ton of free information. Dive on into the free Discord. You guys won't regret it. There's over 13,000 members a part of it. Yes, there's a paid side if you guys do want to check that out as well. There's a ton of valuable information in there. There's a 7-day free trial that you guys can cancel at any time and you don't get charged at all. If you guys do want to go check that out as well, again, these links will be down in the description below as well as in the comments below. And with that in mind, let's go over here to the full update that we got back in December. So again, this is building on top of that March announcement with the NASDAQ. We have here just in NASDAQ to extend trading hours. The NASDAQ plans to extend stock trading from 16 to 23 hours on weekdays, aiming for 24/5 markets by the second half of 2026. This is the year. This is the year where everything starts to move on chain. I don't think people understand just how significant this is. We are witnessing a complete shift in traditional finance. Everything, every asset, everything of value, moving on chain. This will massively affect everything because of the value that this will bring to public networks, and also the value that will move over public networks, not just 24 hours a day. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Every single day, trillions of dollars potentially moving over networks. That's the scope of this. Now, we also got an update back in mid-December from Ray Fuentes, and it's right in front of our faces. NASDAQ CEO confirmed the direction of the market at Ripple swell. Next up are the fintech companies ready to go public now that the government shutdown is over. Question is, are these the crypto picks and shovels, e.g. Ripple? And listen, you do not just hold a major event and have NASDAQ CEO addressing everyone saying, hey, yeah, we want to tokenize, we want to do this, we want to do that, and Ripple is not involved in some way. I strongly believe that there's going to be a big shift in this market where a few players like Ripple with XRP and the XRPL are successful and here long term. You need to listen up and you need to focus on the connections. Now, it's not just the NASDAQ that's moving on chain. We also know that Swift recently announced back on January 15th that they are tapping into blockchain technology. Now, we also addressed the fact that Swift is not replacing public networks. In fact, they are building out an interoperability stack for public blockchains to tap in to this blockchain-based ledger that they are creating. Because again, Swift is mainly just orchestration. They're not going to settle and, clear transactions. No, that's going to be the public blockchains jobs. They're going to be tapped in here through an interoperability stack. This is all based around scaling these networks for tokenization use cases because we know the scale of tokenization. Now, on top of that, the DTCC, we know that they are also moving on chain. Every single one of these big players are now starting to address everything that's happening and what's been talked about for years on this channel as well as many other channels. And that's the fact that we are witnessing the evolution of our financial system. The DTCC is addressing tokenization as a whole, saying that DLT is the key here. After years of industry experimentation and focus or progress with DLT, the DTCC is driving digital asset acceptance and adoption in partnership with the industry. This is that bridge between TradFi and DeFi. Guys, this is when we start to see the big shift happen in real time. I want you guys to realize what's really going on here. This is the evolution of the financial system. And then we got the big update just earlier yesterday. Just in, the NYSE to launch a 24/7 US stock trading through new on-chain tokenized exchange. Every big player is now here. Wall Street is ready. Wall Street is telling you, hey, guess what? We're done with the traditional system. We are now going on chain. Here we have from the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange account. Today, the NYSE is proud to announce the development of a platform for trading and on-chain settlement of tokenized securities. The NYSE's new digital platform will enable tokenized trading experiences, including 24/7 operations, instant settlement, order sized in dollar amounts, and stablecoin-based funding. Its design combines the NYSE's cutting-edge pillar matching engine with blockchain-based post-trade systems. And there you have the big factor here. Blockchain-based post-trade systems. Within the full breakdown, we have this will facilitate 24/7 trading of US listed equities and ETFs. It will allow for fractional share trading, will offer immediate settlement via tokenized capital as well. And then down here, we have a few pieces of the puzzle really kind of coming to fruition. So this is going to be multiple chains for settlement and custody. It's going to support that. I wonder what chains that's going to be. I wonder what, blockchains are going to be tapped in here. I think I have a few in mind that could definitely, do the job. Subject to regulatory approvals, the platform will power a new NYSE venue that supports trading of tokenized shares fungible with traditionally issued securities as well as tokens natively issued as digital securities. Tokenized shareholders will participate in traditional shareholder dividends and governance rights. Now, also down here, we have the launch of the NYSE's tokenized securities platform as one component of ICE's broader digital strategy, which includes preparing its clearing infrastructure to support 24/7 trading and potential integration of tokenized collateral. ICE is now working with banks including BNY and Citi to support tokenized deposits across ICE's clearing houses to help clearing members transfer and manage money outside of traditional banking hours, meet margin obligations, and accommodate funding requirements over different jurisdictions and time zones. This is absolutely insane. For more than 2 centuries, the NYSE has transformed the way markets operate. We are leading the industry towards fully on-chain solutions, grounded in the unmatched protections and high regulatory standards that position us to marry trust with state-of-the-art technology. Harnessing our expertise to reinvest market infrastructure is how we'll meet and shape the demands of a digital future. This is absolutely wild. We are at that phase of the market. We are at the phase where the biggest names are now moving on chain. And focus on BNY here, because they're saying multiple chains for settlement and custody. Well, Reese Merrick from Ripple said the NYSE develops tokenized securities platform to support 24/7 trading. They'll facilitate 24/7 trading of US listed equities and ETFs. They'll allow fractional share trading. They'll offer immediate settlements via tokenized capital. Big. Yeah, it is a big deal, especially considering the fact that we know that BNY and Ripple just recently announced this digital assets platform via tokenized deposits, which I believe is going to be the key for this use case. RLUSD is going to be tapped in here, obviously, because BNY is the primary reserve custodian of RLUSD. Together, we are bridging traditional and digital markets. Interesting. Also, by the way, Ripple Prime is an early adopter of this, where XRP is fully tapped in with RLUSD. And on top of this, what's even crazier is we know that BNY and Ripple have major connections. Like, for an example, this one. Big shout out to Smoke Dog for this. We have here the launch of the NYSE's tokenized platform. This is where you saw the BNY connection with NYSE. Over here, we have beyond network operations, Ripple earns returns from strategic investments in blockchain and fintech ventures and through its line of credit product, which provides on-demand liquidity for cross-border payments. The company has expanded its ecosystem with RLUSD, a US dollar-backed stablecoin issued in partnership with BNY Mellon, and is broadening its institutional custody and digital asset management services. These initiatives diversify Ripple's revenue base beyond XRP sales, building a more resilient business model aligned with traditional financial institutions entering the digital asset space. Yeah, this is a big deal. Ripple has major connections to players like BNY, which now, through this announcement with NYSE, they're all connected. This is why you focus on a lot of the recent moves that Ripple has been making, because I do believe that a lot of these are aligned with specific ventures. Like, for example, if we go back to those connections with Ripple Swell, how many of those players at Ripple Swell were Ripple partners? How many of them that are not announced as Ripple partners are Ripple partners, like NASDAQ or even BlackRock? Remember BlackRock's Larry Fink, he said, oh, I can't talk about XRP. Why? Why couldn't he talk about XRP? Is there a conflict of interest? Like, we look at these things and we try to, come to some sort of conclusion, and we try to guess who's the next big player that's going to be announced. Who is going to be working with Ripple next? In this tokenized world that we are entering, I strongly believe that Ripple's stack, everything that Ripple has been creating and building, is all towards this future where everything is tokenized. We have been, repeating it, right? I've been talking to you guys almost every single day for the last couple of years saying, hey, we are moving to a new system. We're moving away from the traditional world. We are moving to a digital tokenized future. This announcement, along with the DTCC, along with SWIFT, along with the NASDAQ, along with major institutional players, all confirms that. Guys, I understand it's easy to write this stuff off because it's taken a while, but you are seeing the glaring facts right in front of your face. You go back to NASDAQ. You go back to the DTCC, you go back to SWIFT, they're all telling you exactly what's happening. We are moving to a blockchain-based financial system, an on-chain tokenized digital system. Open your eyes, lock in, and study what's happening here. It will benefit you long-term. And I'm not just talking about financially. You need to study what's happening here. Everything around you is going to change. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.